What's up, everyone? How's it going? Welcome to today's market analysis and trade recap episode. Today is Wednesday, January the 14th. As you can see today, we didn't really find any trades today. It does look like we had some nice action, but unfortunately we weren't able to find any trades. Now, you might be wondering, why is this the case? Well, I'm gonna be honest, we were looking for trades until around 9:30. And then some other work came up for us, so we had to take our time to go ahead and do that. But I mean, from what we've seen from 8:30 to 9:30, that 1 hour segment, there was some decent opportunity that potentially we have missed. So that's why I'm really going to emphasize looking. For example, this retracement, hold on, this retracement right here did provide some opportunity to go short with as a retracement. But unfortunately, we didn't find any buyer absorption or any signal that we're going to continue heading lower that we would have liked to see. And as a result, we didn't really have any signal. Perhaps putting some extra discretion on there could have made us enter in, but we don't want to force things, especially so early into the market. But that was definitely a potential opportunity that we missed. Not mad that I missed it because we followed the rules, and there may have been more as well. So let's get straight into this. So on a higher time frame, where we're sitting at, hold on, let me turn this off. What we were seeing was that we were dropping down overnight, and PPI didn't really make much of an impact, but we're dropping down overnight, and we're approaching this lower liquidity. Now, in my eyes, I didn't see any reason for us not to break through this entire region, right? So I was always a little bit bearish. And furthermore, what we look to see, or what we see when we expand our volume profile, is that at this lower region around this bookmap liquidity down here and these lows, we also see that it aligns nicely with this high volume node that we have from extending this range. Now, I mean, if you extend it here, we do still have volume at that location and point of control there, but we're blasting through that region. The next high volume node is down there. This just provides that more significant representation with that point of control line being extended. That's why we extended it all the way there instead of here. So that's essentially my reasoning for the buys for today. But it isn't anything crazy per se, right? And essentially the same thing we see here on NQ. With that bearish pressure. I mean, yeah, with that being said, let's get straight into it. We did have a lot of liquidity down here below, chart liquidity and bookmap liquidity. But after a point, we started having a lack of order flow liquidity at this region, and our only real liquidity was above, which may have attracted price to head up there. And we'll go over all of that today and hopefully see if there was any opportunity that we missed. If there was opportunity that we missed, potentially we could have taken it, but that's why we're looking at all of this. So, yeah. So, right upon market open, what we see is that we start going upwards towards the upside, and we have this liquidity here at VWAP at 7.7 region right here. And we make this big wick after coming down initially, taking all this liquidity out. And what we see right there at market open, hold on, why can't I move this? There we go. We see here right at market open was that there was a lot of aggressive buying that got in around that region, right? Yo, why is this like this? What? Hold on. There we go. Oh my. What is even there for me to grab onto? Alright, there we go. As you can see, there are trapped buyers there at the top of the candle. And with those trapped buyers at the 6980 level, which also happens to align with VWAP, we start seeing a very aggressive splurge of selling. Now, typically the first 10 to 15 minutes of market open, it's that moment to gauge the trend for the day. In my eyes, at least, right? Sometimes we are unable to do so as well. Sometimes you just go up and down without having a key insight into where we're going to go next. But here we see that we break through this lower liquidity, allowing us to have room to head lower down to the 6960 region. And we see some aggressive selling following through. Now, we have two real levels. We have this VWAP level liquidity alongside this lower liquidity. This lower liquidity looks to be very significant and a key target that price wants to take out down at these 5-0 levels right here. And look at that, we go ahead and take it out. But we're looking to see if we can find any retracement place here. So that's right at 845. So right around here, right? And why was I thinking we could potentially get a retracement play? Well, take a look at it, right? We broke through this lower liquidity, visibly understanding that this is a major lower target, psychological level as well to an extent. We retraced and we have this minor liquidity up here. It's nothing crazy significant, but we do see that there is some sort of liquidity around there that does happen to align with this order flow region that we marked out because of the sheer intensity of all these big sellers getting in, and they aligned. So we're looking to see that if we retrace into that area, do we have any buyer absorption? Are buyers struggling to get in? Are buyers unable to push price higher? Or is selling coming in aggressively at that region? All we see is that we continue pushing up. Now, here there's no real barriers, nothing really to prevent us, no real imbalanced or asymmetric spread on the book map. Thus, we're kind of just sitting, watching to see what would happen because we did not have that buyer absorption. And what we see is that, I mean, the sells just pop in and the target gets hit, the 6950 region. And we have big buyers coming in there. Now here, this is a point where we reversed. Now you can take a look at it and understand why. Well, simply taking a look at the book map, right? We have liquidity all the way down at 6915. That's pretty far away. That's around 30 points towards the downside. And it isn't as significant as well. We don't have liquidity between that. But what we see is that we're not only deviated from our high volume node for the day, which at that point it was up here around VWAP level, but we're also deviated from VWAP. We broke through the last important lower liquidity region. Now there's barely any liquidity nearby. And I mean, icebergs are insanely positive. Sellers are struggling to break through, and we're starting to see accumulation of some buyers. And furthermore, we have big buyers that are unable to get balanced up towards the top. Now, it's all just hypothetical at this point, right? Because of that lack of liquidity, it's hard to tell what will actually happen. Now, let's keep moving forward to see if there's any opportunity within any of this. Now, we see that we're heading up. Buying icebergs are coming in really strong right at this time. Now, potentially there's something within this retracement. We have liquidity there at 4.2, which should be in this candle down here at 42.5. Potentially there's something there, but honestly there's nothing I would have taken simply because we barely have any volume there. No seller absorption. And I mean, no seller absorption, no signal, price shoots up very, very quickly. And I remember seeing this happen actually. We saw a very quick, big buying occur, driving price all the way up here, which happened to be VWAP, which happened to be this upper liquidity region, which you'll quickly happen to see get swept out as well. Now, around here was the point where we stopped paying too much attention. And I mean, as you can see, it's a good area for the shorts. Now, I want to see if there's any area that we may have been captivated to take shorts. Because right now we're in volume region. There's target above, there's kind of a target below, nothing really significant. So right now would be a region where I'm typically flat. There's target at 56958 approximately, or 6957.5. We're getting defended here, but I mean, it's nothing I'm really liking, nothing significant. Now this right here, potentially there's something here that we can take. You see big buyers getting in there. So big buyers entered in there. If selling follows here, shorts may be plausible. Now we continue moving up. Like, I would not be comfortable shorting there. And there's when the selling comes in. So honestly, I would not take that. And now we continue seeing that selling action occur. Now there is some further liquidity there. Nah, it gets taken out pretty quickly. We're in that 25 candle here now. Yeah, I mean, nothing really crazy simply because the order book isn't as volatile, I guess you could say. But we continue heading downwards. And still no trades I can really see. Potentially some absorption here at 940 that we can take advantage of. But now there's liquidity down here. Again, not too significant. We have this region up here by 6.5. And 6.0, which is a high volume mode. Potentially we can get a retracement up there now, but we don't. Let's see what happens here. We hang out at this lower liquidity. We push up. Now it's looking quite bullish here around this 35 candle. Let's see what happens here. So we do have a flush up. Struggle to get that liquidity in. Now, honestly, if we took a trade there, we would have likely gotten stopped out. Because right now it's looking quite bullish, right? Let's see if there was no real seller absorption, but we're seeing buying aggression at this region. So honestly, I'm gonna be humble and say that I might have taken a losing trade here. Say you enter at 6949 in this candle. Right here we can just say 6949 with the stop loss at 4.5. So we're pretty protected, right? Yeah, we're pretty protected. 18 tick stop, targeting 5.5, so it's gonna be there. So 1 to 1.22 risk to reward. Our target almost gets hit. Doesn't. We get 13, 14 ticks towards the upside. Let's see what happens here. We see aggressive buying occur. We're continuing to get defended, and then these sellers just come in and push down. Yeah, honestly, this might have been one of those times where even if you do the right thing, you might take a loss. So there's that. We continue heading towards the downside, push down. Now here at 9:45, we see another splurge of selling. I want to see if there's any way we can capture a piece of this sell. We break through liquidity. It's a quick flush, actually. It looks like, at least. Flip that liquidity, and then we. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything really I can take here. Yeah, nothing. Just hover around this area. Now there's no asymmetric spread there, and there's nothing I can take there. Spread is too tight now. Uh, longs might be feasible here until that region where shorts may continue, but as you can see, these longs do come in. They go a lot further than I would have expected. Push up, break the liquidity. Now we retrace. Let's see if there's something here at the 10 a.m. candle. Yeah, I mean, volume very uniform here at this level. No barrier really as well, so can't really take anything from that. Now here we push up, see some aggressive selling back downwards. And now that liquidity gets lifted. We have liquidity up here, liquidity down here. Not really any barriers. There we see the selling. Mm, honestly, not seeing anything. Ooh, 10-10. I mean, potentially there was some selling here that we could have taken if we see absorption up there, but it gets lifted. Ooh, now this might be a spoofing play right here. Because what we're seeing is that we're getting constant buying delta, but we're prevented by this big seller. I mean, but we failed to push up there. Assuming you took the spoof order. Nah, honestly, I wouldn't really take something like that. If you did have some strategy that was associated with spoofing, it might be something like this for 4.5, 4.5 with a stop loss where let's just keep it at 30, so 29.5. 20 tick stop. We're targeting around 4.2, so we'll keep it at 41.25. Ooh, that's only a 1.3 risk to reward, and I mean, it would have worked out, but that's not something that's not something I would have taken. We push towards the upside. Potentially there's something here, I can't lie. We're seeing buying barriers here. Now, around 3.7. Let's see if you hold this region. Uh, nice. Sellers take it a little bit. It's looking good if you see seller absorption here, but again, the target isn't pretty close. And volume mode moved to where prices are right now. So, I mean, again, not something I would have taken. And honestly, if you look at the time now, the session is over for what we personally trade. So, I mean, pretty good action for the day, but for our strategy, no real signals that we could have taken unless I missed anything. But yeah, I mean, that's basically all I have for today. Would have liked to see if you can take anything today, but unfortunately, we did not see anything. Let me just go back to this 920 area, see if there was anything that we could have seen. This at that 20 candle. Aha. So this was the area we were potentially gauging the shorts, but unfortunately the barriers broke. So yeah, I mean, this area would have been nice because there's trapped buyers at that region and absorption, but again, unfortunately, nothing we really would have taken. And sometimes days are like that, but it's always better to be flat than negative, because if we did take a trade, we don't know how it would have ended out. And yeah, I mean, it's always better to be flat than losing money, right? But yeah, with that being said, that's all I have for today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or join the completely free Discord server, which is linked in the description down below as well. Additionally, Addis Orderflow platform, the thing that I'm using here, is one of our channel partners, and it's a pretty good resource, has a lot of free accessibility, and it's very beginner accessible as well. So I definitely recommend you guys to check it out. And Bookmap livestream, both of them will also be linked in the description down below. But before you do anything, please make sure to do your own research. So yeah, that's all I have here for today. And with that being said, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.